a whole new Disney World.
Hello everyone, and welcome back to RetroLand. Today, we'll be covering the history of Kitchen Kabaret and Food Rocks at EPCOT. Kitchen Kabaret was an opening day attraction in the Land Pavilion, along with Listen to the Land and Symbiosis. The pavilion was dedicated to the topic of nature and nutrition, and on opening day it was sponsored by Kraft, who co-financed all of the pavilion's attractions. Nowhere was this sponsorship felt more than in Kitchen Kabaret, an animatronic stage show that taught guests about the different food groups and how to balance them in a meal. The show was hosted by Bonnie Appetit, who's planning a meal. She starts the show by singing the mealtime blues, about how she's troubled by planning a new meal. She tells us that she'll give us tips on meal planning, and the kitchen crackpots appear on the stage. They play the background music for Bonnie as she sings about how balanced meals can help chase the blues away.
They'll help you chase those blues, those low-down mealtime blues. They'll help you chase the blues away.
After they finish, she introduces Dairy Goods and his Stars of the Milky Way, who sing about the members of the dairy group, such as cheese, yogurt, and ice cream.
It's nice to flirt with Miss Yogurt!
We're then introduced to the Cereal Sisters, who sing about the Boogie Woogie Bakery Boy, which is a parody of the Boogie Woogie Bugle Boy by the Andrews Sisters. He's a slice of bread with sunglasses who plays the trumpet and appears all around the stage during his song.
I think I'll get together with the toast of the town for a jam session.
After a terrible pun from Bonnie, the crowd is introduced to Ham and Eggs. The group sings several short songs about members of the meat group, like chicken and fish, interwoven with puns from eggs.
A hungry fox boldly walking through a henhouse door.
Too bad for him, he met a hen who stood at 6'4".
He won't forget the licking
He got from that big chicken.
Now he gets his poultry from the store.
Their act ends with Ham arguing with Eggs about the other protein groups he could join, such as nuts or cheese.
Oh, nuts to you, Hammy.
That's right, nuts to me. Another excellent source of protein.
Next is the most iconic act of the show, the Colander Combo and Fiesta Fruits, who sing about their vitamins and flavor with Bonnie, who descends from the ceiling on a hanging crescent moon.
There are no substitutes for we Betty fruit, Betty fruit, you see. Our balanced meal always wins with our vitamins. B and C, sweet fruit, Betty fruit.
The show ends with each of the acts singing a medley of their songs and reminding you to eat balanced meals.
Think of our commentary on the foods from the dairy.
It's not hard to imagine
that will always be in fashion.
On September 26, 1993, Kraft dropped their sponsorship of the Land Pavilion, and it was picked up by Nestle. On January 3, 1994, Kitchen Kabaret closed to make room for a brand new show, Food Rocks, which opened on March 26th of the same year. Food Rocks had a similar message to Kitchen Kabaret, but instead had more of an emphasis on eating in moderation. The show starts with the utensils singing a parody of Bohemian Rhapsody about how they can be used to make cooking easier. Then introduced to our host, Food Rapper, voiced by rapper Tone Loc. He introduces us to the Peach Boys, who sing a parody of the song Good Vibrations by the Beach Boys, about good nutrition.
We're talking of good nutrition, it's not just a superstition.
The act is then heckled by the antagonists of the show, the XS, which is a heavy metal band made of junk food. Next comes the only returning character from Kitchen Kabaret, Dairy Goods, who is now a member of the Refrigerator Police. They sing a parody of Every Breath You Take by the Police, called Every Bite You Take, about how dairy is in most foods that you eat.
Every bite you take, and every cake you bake, every milk you shake, every egg you break will be part of you.
This act is followed by Peter Gabriel singing a parody of Peter Gabriel's Sledgehammer called High Fiber, about different sources of fiber.
Could have some red beans, a tortilla might be nice. How about a leafy green salad, or a nice
PETA is also heckled by the excess, and Food Rapper sings Always Read the Rapper, a parody of Funky Cold Medina by Tone Loc, about checking the nutrition facts on packages.
Before you rip, have a backward sip, check the contents on the label.
Next is the Soul of Rock and Roll, which is a fish who sings a parody of Cher's Hiss Kiss about eating meats with low fat. After that song, the next performer is a pineapple, voiced by Little Richard, who sings a parody of Tutti Frutti about how fruit is good for you.
I look to the east, I look to the west, and everywhere the fruit tastes best. To the fruit, oh fruit, to the fruit. Woo!
The next act is Neil Musaka, who sings a parody of Neil Sedaka's Breaking Up Is Hard to Do, about how vegetables are good for you.
Vegetables are good for you.
After that is Chubby Cheddar, who sings a parody of The Twist by Chubby Checker about exercising.
Come on, baby, let's exercise. Come on, baby, let's exercise. It's really wise to exercise.
The excess then show up and sing the only original song in the show, which is a metal song about eating junk food.
We're tired of this nutrition stuff. We're tired of hearing bark. We're tired of hearing about exercise. Cause you know there's nothing like staying at home, lying on the couch, watching the tube with a great big bowl of fattening, steaming junk.
In the middle of their song, Food Rapper unplugs their equipment, and the Get to the Point sisters sing a parody of Respect by Aretha Franklin about eating in moderation.
What you want, baby, we got it. Ooh, rich and sweet, don't want it. Ooh, but moderation means eat.
The show ends with the whole cast singing a parody of Bohemian Rhapsody once more, this time about balancing your diet with the different food groups.
Eating right is easy. Choose before you chew. We're waiting in the kitchen. Waiting in the kitchen for you.
Despite opening 12 years after Kitchen Kabaret, Food Rocks had a cheaper feel, with most of the animatronics in the show having limited motion and appearing much like cardboard cutouts. This cheapness most likely stems from the fact that most of the budget for the attraction had been spent on licensing the songs for each act. To be honest, I believe Kitchen Kabaret is a better show, with more memorable songs and characters, but that may just be my love for vintage EPCOT showing. In 2004, Food Rocks closed, and the space was used for the cutest Soarin', a copy of Soarin' Over California at Disney's California Adventure. On June 17th of 2015, Soarin' was remodeled to Soarin' Around the World, which takes guests to landmarks all over Earth. Nestle's sponsorship of the land ended in 2009, and to this day, the only sponsorship in the pavilion is Living with the Land, sponsored by Chiquita Brands International. Overall, Kitchen Kabaret was a pretty great stage show, an important part of EPCOT's history. While Food Rocks was pretty mediocre, I believe that we can all agree that Soarin' is a worthy replacement for Kitchen Kabaret. Now, thanks for watching, eat your veggies, goodbye.
Mamma mia, that's a spicy vegetable.